Hello everyone, it's been a while since we've done one of these, isn't it? My name's Isaac and welcome to Isaac and Friends. So today I'm going to be doing a build and review of this Toyota Speed Champions Lego set. Hope everybody's doing okay. There's our car base. Our wonderful manual. Our bag. I was hoping those would be already put on there. It looked almost like they were already going to be on there, but you know, Lego just loves to make my day miserable, don't they? If you're new to the channel, you know how much. You may not know how much I don't like stickers, but hey. Let's get this going, shall we? Oh, come on. There we go. Bag was not wanting to come open quite so easily. Dump on all the parts here. By the way, I got this on Walmart.com. They had it on sale for about $19. Don't know if it's gonna still be on sale by the time you guys get to it, but hey, I'll try and tag it in the tagged product so you guys can check it out yourself and hopefully earn myself a little bit of a commission. Just gotta get this guy's head on. There we go. Voila! And put his racer helmet on. A little race car guy. Ain't he adorable? And his very wacky haircut. Goes on there. I hope you guys are enjoying the jazz music or whatever little piece of music I'm going to put to this. I'm trying to put a little bit of music to this because just in case I don't really get to talking or anything. Being on the spectrum a little bit, you know, sometimes I'll get focused on something and I won't talk. So if I stop talking in the middle of this, it's probably just me concentrating on it. Now, as far as Toyota Supras, I don't really know much about them. Honestly, I'm not a super duper car guy. That's more of my old man shtick than mine. I just like driving them and driving them fast, so it is what it is, right? going to denote, though, I was part of the generation of back when Fast and Furious was literally about a group of people jacking semi-trucks and super fast cars and not whatever the heck it is now. Which, by the way, the Fast and Furious series is actually where Toyota Supra really got people's attention here in the States. Other than that, most people, you know, for Fast and Furious, most people didn't really bother to look at it. I think another car that really got people's attention during the Fast and Furious series was, I believe, the Skyline. Of course, the Skyline also got plenty of love from games like Need for Speed, Most Wanted, and stuff like that. I never played Most Wanted. My actual introduction to Need for Speed series was Need for Speed Carbon. And after that, I kind of dropped off the Need for Speed franchise. But mostly because I had some issues going on at the time, so it is what it is. Picked it back up, started playing Need for Speed Heat, and decided to look at Need for Speed Payback and a couple others. I personally enjoyed it. Now, hang on, we lost a brick. Brick recovered. I personally enjoy them. I think what really soured people on Need for Speed Payback was the microtransactions. And I can't blame anybody for that, because honestly, the whole microtransaction nonsense that's been going on for a while is just annoying. Thankfully, nowadays it's more cosmetic stuff than anything else. Though I think that more or less came about because EA basically got hammered in Europe and other parts of the world because they were like, hey, this is like extra uber gambling, and we don't want kids to be doing this, so either fix this or we start having issues. That's an issue with right now. These far further in than it is. I'm seeing is these little nubs here. Difference between the two sides of this brick. Showing them going much further in. Pressure them too much. I don't want to snap them off. Great. Well, I think I have some spare ones somewhere. Regardless, it doesn't exactly solve my problem. Oh, I found it. No way we're getting those in there. I mean, that's just what I'm saying now. And seeing some clips, interesting enough too, of the new Has Been Hotel series that came out. Some pretty interesting stuff there. Although, we're already starting to see what I guess I would call the usual suspects. Your typical Christian pastors going nuts because of course they're going nuts. A series that's showing Satan is something other than an evil monster, even though the writer has honestly said, in truth, it is not meant to be a faithful depiction of the Bible or anything of that nature. They just can't help themselves, apparently. But at the same token, it's like, you know, every time they lose their minds and stuff like this, it just shows the rest of the world exactly how insane they are. Now, I will say this, okay? I personally do not care or mind anybody else's religion, right? I am former Christian myself. I am now currently a ancient Egyptian style heathen. I worship ancient Egyptian gods, work with them, that kind of stuff. Kind of fitting considering all the stuff that I've studied and known about Egypt. And I've also sat there and growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, I was basically straight up raised to be a pastor or minister, so I spent most of my youth having to read the Bible from cover to cover at least once a year, every single year. It was not my favorite thing to do in the world is an understatement, but hey. Although I will say, it does stump me a little bit every now and again when people try and bring up something like rapture or anything like that. Because I was raised by the book, pretty much. And there are, surprisingly enough, a lot of Christian doctrine that doesn't actually come from the Bible. In fact, according to a number of scholars, it comes from basically, essentially Christian fanfic. I know, it's a weird term to hear when you hear someone talk about a religion. You hear somebody say, fan fiction. But you have to understand that as belief systems change and do grow over the centuries, like, you're gonna have stories that get added in, or mythology that gets changed. It's all really the historical part of a religion growing and changing and adapting in some form or way. Like, they're trying to change and adapt to the world around them, kind of deal. So you're gonna encounter that. You're gonna encounter a lot of stuff sometimes that You know, people will swear up and down as part of the Christian doctrine and part of the Bible, but if you actually open the book and read it, it's nowhere to be found. Because reality is, it wasn't actually part of the Bible at all. Now, of course, we could get into a whole slew of things like the Apocrypha, the various quote-unquote lost books of the Bible, which, let's be 100% clear on what the Bible is. It's not a singular book. It is a collection of texts and books handpicked by an organization of individuals with the sole intent of creating or making a religious text to solidify their own political power within a religious organization or group that was, at the time, kind of young. So these guys were basically just taking over something that had recently formed. What little bit of quote-unquote leadership it had passed at that point. So they basically took over, kicked everyone else out that wouldn't agree with them, and then cobbled together this book in quotation marks, which was pretty much pieced together selected scriptures that they wanted. Yes, I know the term, hearing the words pieced together is probably not happy to a lot of people's ears, but honestly, it's the historical truth of it, okay? Now, again, I'm not saying this to attack anyone's religion. I'm saying this just as a historical perspective. I like to look at a lot of stuff from a historical point. Historically, the Bible comes from, again, exactly what I said. Small group of people back in the 300s CE who took over what was at the time a relatively small, not particularly threatening religion at the time. At the time, I should know. Now, at first, Christians would use basically different kinds of symbols to try and hide themselves, so on and so forth. Because at the time, the Romans, who, I will say this, people do give the Romans a lot of bad rap. Because believe it or not, the Romans were actually pretty tolerant of other people's religious beliefs. A good example of that actually is, believe it or not, because if you look at other religions in the empire, for example, the worship of the goddess Isis. Now, the goddess Isis is an Egyptian god. She's an Egyptian goddess. Now, if we are to believe what some people would tell you, and that these people were, they hated other gods and they would go after other gods, they wouldn't be spreading her worship as far north as England. In fact, the cult of Isis, or Aset in her native Kemetic tongue, was popular up until Christianity basically took over the Roman Empire. Which is to say, basically the same thing as a lot of stuff happens. People go to an interesting religion that they feel that they can have more control over. They start basically kicking out the people that were there before, and basically taking over what was left. Basically, you'll find that there's a lot of that kind of religious hostile takeovers when it comes to especially churches of monotheistic beliefs, but we'll get back to that at another point. Now, the Romans get a bad rap because of their response, particularly to Christians and Semitic people of their time period. Now, the problem with this is this actually ignores a few details. Okay? And that is that while the Romans were tolerant of most religions, ancient Semitic people were not. You have to understand, when you have a culture that believes that you are the chosen people of who you claim to be, the one true God, and that you are dominated and ruled over by heathens, it tends to create a sense of hatred and discord. And so the ancient Semitic people during that time period were pretty much what we would call similar to Islamic extremists today. Pretty much the same mentality. They would poison wells, they would stab officials and Roman citizens within the region of Israel. Rome at one point had to literally shut down synagogues because they were being used as, for all intents and purposes, terrorist recruitment centers. Ancient Semitic people, or the ancient Israelites of that time period, had done this quite a lot, actually. I mean, quite a lot. So, by the time the Christians showed up, as far as Rome could tell and could be concerned, early Christianity would be the equivalent of what we would think of if Islamic extremists created a cult around Saddam Hussein. I don't think, I'm pretty confident in saying we would not be very tolerant of that. Now, keep in mind that yes, you could say that technically if Jesus was real, that his teachings were peaceful, comparatively. But again, keep in mind, the Romans at that stage have been literally fighting off constant, literal rebellion in terms of actual violent rebellions throughout that sector and area of the Middle East. There's only so much of constantly having to deal with terrorists that one can reasonably be forced to handle before literally flying off the handle. And to be fair, some of the more cruel acts were not exactly done by people even the Romans would consider to be sane. Nero and Caligula were not particularly considered sane, even by the Romans. course, keep in mind, I am saying this in ancient terms. And I keep saying this because I do not believe that modern Semitic people are anything like their ancestors, or at least I hope not. You know? I'm kind of the person that expects that, you know, hopefully people will grow and develop and change over thousands of years. I'd hope that, at least. I hope that my little detour into theology and history hasn't soured anybody's interest in this little Supra we're building here. But from there, once the Christians did get power, they proceeded to very much destroy any kind of temple that they didn't like. And that's unfortunate because there were temples like the temple to Hathor that were just destroyed. There were temples throughout Egypt, Ethiopia, modern-day Sudan. I will say that is something that a lot of people do make the mistake of. Like, Christianity in and of itself is not a European religion. It was started in the Middle East. It is a offshoot. I'd almost say like a knockoff of Judaism to some extent. Has kind of started out pretty much in the same way. But anywho, let's keep building the car. Because I'm sure I've probably offended more than a few people already. At this rate, nobody really watches these, right? Of course, I say that and watch. Suddenly this becomes the most watched Isaac and Friends video ever. And I get all the hate mail from everyone. But personally, I mean, as far as religion goes, honestly, I think people just need to leave each other the hell alone. And I'm not alone in that thought. To be fair, it's kind of the whole point of what the First Amendment was supposed to be about in the US anyway. Was an idea that essentially making it into law that all religious figures, all groups, essentially have to pretty much just leave each other the heck alone. Just the idea that everyone's free to practice whatever religion they see fit. They're not allowed to make laws and regulations to curtail that within reason. You know, and I say within reason, you know, as in, obviously you can't have people be able to sit there and do stuff like infringe on other people's rights and the rights of people's civil liberties, things like that. Okay? People's free ability to, you know, choose who they want to marry, stuff like that. Have we always followed that? No. No, because we do have quite a number of Judeo-Christians that kind of forget the whole purpose of why we have the First Amendment, which was literally because, you know, the Founding Fathers coming from a time period when the local priests could essentially have you dragged out of your home, beaten to an inch of your life, all your stuff taken from you, because they just happened to not like you. Or because so-and-so said you didn't go to church as often as you were supposed to. Or you were the wrong version of Christian. Matter of fact, I mean, people flat out just own their own kin. Like, basically, so for our younger viewers who might be watching this, basically disowning someone is you cut them off completely from the family, okay? You don't have contact with them, they're not allowed, nobody in the family is allowed to provide help or do anything for that person, or they risk being cut off from the family themselves. Now, ideally, if this is practiced at all, which it really should not be practiced in any way, form, or fashion, the person will have reasonably, like, earned it. Like, the person has done some seriously horrible stuff, and so the family will kick them out and not deal with them because of what they've done. Ideally. The problem is a lot of the times that this gets exercised, especially in modern day era, is the person could just have different spiritual beliefs than the rest of the family. Or that person could have said something that other members of the family didn't like, so on and so forth. Or they could have made... In some cases, it's literally a choice of they decided they didn't want to be Christian anymore, especially in the United States. And there's plenty of cases of that, where in the US, unfortunately, we do have a good chunk of people in our country who, in bids to enforce their religious ideology on their children, will out and out kick them out of their home if they are queer or they have any kind of anything that goes against what they perceive, mind you, perceive as being against their religion. Now, it should be noted, not all Christians act the same. Despite having a pretty clear-cut book of what is supposed to be acceptable and what's not, a lot of them do and have evolved to adapt more secular thinking, more rational ideologies, and being less boot thy child to the street because the pastor says so, and have chosen a little bit more reasonable approaches. But unfortunately, we do still have quite a number of our Christian friends who don't have that rational approach. Especially if they happen to be Jehovah's Witnesses. Because the Jehovah's Witnesses, I can tell you straight up, do practice shunning. I myself am kind of in a state of quasi-shunning from my family because I left the Jehovah's Witnesses. I no longer worship their God, therefore I am evil. Doesn't matter that I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do anything that, according to their own beliefs, which would be wrong or evil. The mere act of not being a JW enough anymore and not going to the Kingdom Hall, not going to their church, is cause enough for their behavior, pretty much. But, like I said, and I'll say it again, not all Christians are like that. Okay? There are, thankfully, more than a few good Christians out there who, you know, have have, I should say, more evolved sense of thought process and understanding and going that this is just another religion like anything else. You know, I can have a live and let live mentality. Unfortunately, that is not the case for everyone. Oh, hello, Moon Pie. No, little kitten. What are you? This is the birdie one. Now. Oh. Our Moon Pie has arrived. You want to pet? Hi, sweetie. What's up? Oh. Ow. Everyone's favorite critter. It's a Moon Pie. Oh. Hello, Moon Pie. Meow. I'm kitty kitty. Meow. Meow meow. Hey, sweetie. Hey, sweetie. You wanna sit on my lap? You pet it? Yeah. Kitty has blips. Sorry, your Lego car building has been interrupted by Cat Dad moment. Alright. We interrupt Lego car building with cat dadding. Yes. Hello, Moon Pie. Hello. Yeah, hi. The lip. Oh, this is your lip. Hello. Hello, sweetie. Aw, kitty. Meow. Meow. Hello, buddy. Hello. Hello. Yes, hello. Yeah, Moon Pie's in a daddy love me mode. Hello. Hello. Aw, hello. Yeah, shoulders hit. Hello, buddy. Yeah. Aw, Moon Pie's a good kitty. Yes, he is. Hello, sweetie. You. What's up, buddy? What's up? I'm actually thinking about cats. One little detail about Egyptian religion, by the way. Well, it was believed earlier on that the Egyptians sacrificed a whole ton of animals, and while there were animal sacrifices, upon actual research and x-rays of a lot of what were supposed to be animal mummies, it was actually found out... Oh, hello! Yes, hi, we have cat. It was actually found out that a good majority of them are actually fake. In fact, what they would do, it would seem, according to the x-rays that have been taken of them, that a lot of the quote-unquote sacrificed animals were in fact bundles of linen that had things like fur or a couple feathers, and then molded into the shape of an animal. So, if anything, it would seem that rather than essentially sacrificing live animals for the most part, unless you were, you know, rich, which, of course, the rich people actually sacrifice real critters, you could actually very reasonably get away with, if you wanted to, in an Egyptology kind of style, if you wanted to, you could very reasonably get away with sacrificing stuffed pets. As in, like, stuffed animals, like teddy bears from Walmart, not live critters. I just thought that it was an interesting little thought process, that you could technically offer the Egyptian gods stuffed animals as ritual offerings, and they'd take it. And you would be actually within tradition too, doing that. So I guess it's nice to know that the Egyptian gods like stuffed animals. No kitty. Hello, Moon Pie. Moon Pie is sitting on my shoulder, just purring away. Just a purring away. Hello. Yes, hi. Wow. I am a floof. I go meow. I mean, I guess that makes the Egyptian gods one of the only deities in the universe where a teddy bear is an acceptable sacrificial offering. And now all I'm seeing is Raw with a teddy bear. His favorite teddy bear. Yes, hello. I know, you're being extra cute and fluffy, huh? But I think you're doing that because nobody can see you on the camera, huh? Wow. Uh-oh, we have Cat in the work area. Hello, Cat. Come here, buddy. No, not the desk. There you go. Of course, now I say that, and all I can think of is there's probably going to be some weirdos out there. Because you know they exist. There will be some weirdos out there who will literally try to sacrifice stuffed animals to the Egyptian gods. Not in a healthy heathen way either, like trying to edgelord it. Fluffy bunnies, we love them, but the heathen community does have to sit there and sigh and go, why? By the way, Fluffy Bunny is a colloquial, kind of almost term of endearment. Used mainly for what is essentially people call NOB syndrome in the anime here. That people who basically seem to think that they're still in 5th grade. The kind that like to try and say, I curse the moon for power, or I can bind all the gods, and it's like, sure you can. Yes, the very powerful beings that have been practicing magic and have known the secrets of the universe well before your ancestors even had ancestors, are somehow bound to by Becky from 6th grade. This I doubt highly. Oi! Moon Pie! Stop trying to get in the cabinet. 1 second, everyone. Sorry, I had to go chase Cat out of the cabinet. For whatever reason, he does not want to believe there is nothing for Kitty in there. Even though Kitty has been in there a couple of times without my permission. I honestly thought he just wanted to be in there so he could find like a little cat hidey hole. So I bought him a cat condo, right? So he could have a little hidey hole he can go be a kitty in. Does he use it? Well, he uses the scratching posts on the outside of it. Other than that, no. Typical cat. Try to solve a problem so you can keep them out of something. They go meow. Give you the middle finger. What? No. Uh-oh, Moonpie has found something interesting. It's Kitty being a cat. What you doing, football? Hmm? Ta-da! Now we have something of a front end of a car. Toyota sticker. Okay. Why couldn't this all be put on beforehand? I don't know, but we'll just put up with it for now and just do it ourselves. go. Obviously, we have some lovely hubcaps to choose from. I think I like this style of hubcap better, so I'll go ahead and use that. I know it's calling for one, but I'm gonna go ahead and use these. Pop these on here. And voila! One Toyota Supra. It's honestly, as far as building toys go, this is actually a pretty simple and easy build. I rather enjoyed putting it together. Then again, when it comes to Speed Champions builds, I haven't had any reason not to like them, except for maybe the sheer number of stickers, which is the only reason that really holds these back. Overall, I definitely still give it a nice 9 out of 10 stars. But it's definitely worth taking a look. I know not everybody can get their hands on this one. But like I said, I'm going to try and see if I can tag it in YouTube's features. And who knows? You might be able to grab one of these for yourself. At the end of the day, we now have another car to add to my LEGO Speed Champions fleet. Well, thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you next time.